Hey Cosmic Cousins, welcome back to another week of Cosmic Cousins. It is an honor to be here with you as always. This is the Virgo Full Moon podcast episode. Happy Pisces season to you, to all the Pisces out there. We get to celebrate you this time of year, this beautiful, mutable, cosmic collective water sign. But here we are gathering for the Virgo Full Moon, which is Saturday, February 27th, 2021 at 12:17 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's at the 8th degree and 57 minutes of Virgo. So you can look to your chart around that degree, 8th degree of Virgo, also Pisces, and Gemini and Sagittarius, the other mutable signs too, will be squaring that energy. And so look to this part of your chart to get to know it. And yeah, the cards that we have out here. So if you're new to the show, welcome. Jeff Henshaw here. I'm a tarot reader and an astrologer. And so I usually will incorporate some tarot into the message. So we're going to be talking about both Pisces season and the Virgo full moon. But the cards that we have out here, Page and Queen of Pentacles is what I use for Virgo. I use Pages and Queens for mutable energy, Pentacles for Earth, of course. So we got both the Page and the Queen of Pentacles out here in honor of Virgo. But we need the Hermit card too, which is Virgo's soul growth card. And then the Magician, which is Mercury, Virgo's ruling planet, which just recently stationed direct. Still in Aquarius, and so happy Mercury direct. I know I have been feeling this Mercury retrograde quite strongly in my own life because I am an Aquarius with Aquarius rising, and this has been the Mercury retrograde that I have felt the strongest in my own life. And so I think that will be a nice segue into a little story that I'd like to share with you. So normally I'm recording from Portland, Oregon, but right now I drove 18 and a half hours this past week, right as the sun started to enter into Pisces, really. And I am currently in Boulder, Colorado. It's snowing outside. I'm looking outside. There's about like 5 inches of snow on my car. I'm here for an important reason. Some of you may know that have been listening to the show for a while that I have been wanting to call a dog into my life for quite some time. And I'm finally at a point where I am grounded and settled to do that. So I drove out to Boulder to pick up my new pup, whose name is Biji, which is Sanskrit for little seed. And Biji found me. Biji's coming all the way from Cambodia, where my dear friend Francesca, who is also an astrologer, is an Aquarius with Cancer moon, fostered both Biji and Biji's sister and brought them back to the United States. And so yeah, I'm here. I'm going to meet Biji on the Virgo full moon, which is really cool because Biji is a Virgo and I'm a Virgo moon. So I'm feeling all kinds of excitement and nervousness. Nervousness is quite Virgo, actually. And maybe Pisces, too. A little bit of nerves this time of year. So Pisces season, what's this all about? You know, the great waters of Pisces. You know, the ocean, this archetype plummets us into the depth of our emotion, of our soul, but at the same time, it's a cosmic water sign. So Pisces expands us out into the cosmos, into our spirit, soul and spirit. Think of the two fish of Pisces, you know, duality, but more in this water realm. So it's a beautiful, perplexing sign. And here during Pisces season, we get to enjoy the end of the cycle. Pisces is the culmination of a cycle. So we are all riding this wave of some sort of closeout. And so on the northern hemisphere, we know this is the end of winter. For you on the southern hemisphere, this is the end of summer. And so we're in preparation for a new cycle on this spiritual spiral of evolution that we find ourselves in. And so this Virgo full moon feels particularly potent for many reasons. I mean, one of them on a very practical level, this is the marker that we have now experienced a whole entire year of the coronavirus. I remember last year, COVID-19 started in January of 2020, which was right when the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn took place. But it wasn't really until the Virgo full moon of 2020, which was early March, that it started flooding through our collective consciousness. And I will never forget that Pisces season. And so this Virgo full moon is reminding me of that time. And Virgo is a very body-oriented archetype. And so on this Virgo full moon, we might be feeling things in our body, and particularly as relates to this time last year. So you can even call to mind last March, what was going on for you, and place your hands on your body and send yourself a lot of love, which is something that we do on this podcast a lot. I do have a Virgo moon myself, and so this full moon the invitation is for us to drop into the body, tune into the body, because Pisces season, is all about connecting to spirit and the unknown and the depth of our emotions. And so it's both light and dark, right? But Virgo is reminding us that we are in a body, that we have our to-do list, we have chores to do, things to clean, and Virgo is really here to teach Pisces and to teach us all this Pisces season that, when we wallow in our fear, our depression, we're not productive to the world. And so Virgo is here to remind us of service, reminds Pisces to be of service to something greater. And when Pisces learns this act of devotion to something higher, Pisces energy really works well when it is working for a cause that unites us all. And, this can be anyone that is on the periphery of society. This is Piscean. Pisces children are the elderly, the sick, children being born, the decrepit, the drunks, the mystics. This is all the people in the periphery of society is Pisces. And Virgo says to Pisces, let's channel this devotion towards a group of people, towards humanity, And so we come off of Aquarius, which we have a lot of Aquarian energy in the sky right now, as you likely know. And then this Pisces season, Sun in Pisces, Venus enters Pisces Friday, right? Right before the full moon, Friday, February 26th, Venus enters Pisces. And we have Neptune in Pisces too. So we're getting a little bit more watery. And you've probably heard Pisces is all signs wrapped in one. So you might find yourself relating to all people, different kinds of people this time of year. And Virgo is here to remind us to be a little bit more discriminating with who and what we're sharing our energy with. Virgo harvesting wheat, it separates, and it organizes, and it's the digestion. So it's processing and assimilating. It's like, this is good for me, I'm going to digest this. This is not good for me, I'm going to put this over here. So creating structures and organization in your life on this Virgo full moon is great, and you might have some downloads. I was talking to my dear friend who has a Virgo stellium, and we were kind of joking. I said to him that every Pisces season, my Virgo moon kind of goes in, it starts to take over in some ways. It's in like full throttle, my Virgo moon during Pisces season. And so he has a Virgo stellium, and he said that he woke up in the middle of the night. Pisces is the middle of the night. It's dream time, and received a really strong message that there was, energies and entities in his room. And so he started vacuuming at 2 a.m, cleaning his room. And he was like, my roommates probably are so mad at me right now and confused as to why I'm doing this. But this was right at the beginning of Pisces season. And so I reflected back to him. I was like, Virgo is an overdrive. Anyone with a lot of Virgo placements, as we find ourselves floating into the abyss of the unknown of Pisces, our Virgo tendencies might show up a little bit more. And so you might be feeling that a little extra on this full moon. But either way, this polarity, it is activating something within us that is deeply sensitive. Pisces is sensitive to energies and things that we cannot see. Virgo is also sensitive, usually more in the body. So if you have strong Virgo placements, then you likely have to pay attention to what you put in your body. And that's why Virgo can sometimes be considered by the outsider to be an energy that is picky, but it is actually deeply in tune with the body. Virgo is about body, mind, spirit connection. So when you put alcohol in your body, which Pisces is connected to drugs and alcohol, Virgo is purity. So Virgo is actually saying, okay, Pisces, we've had a little bit too much to drink. Let's go on a cleanse. And I find it interesting during Pisces season is normally when the practice of Lent takes place. And, like 40 days without alcohol or chocolate or whatever it is. But it is actually it's a pure practice of having some sort of pure practice or letting go of something, so that you can create an opening for a connection with God or with a higher power. It's about devotion. And so this key word is really important with Pisces and Virgo is devotion. What are you devoted to at this time? This is something for us to reflect on. And, this lesson comes to us when we allow the world around us to be what it is without fear, without form, and to simply show up to life, to focus on the smaller details in front of you, which can be ritual, altar building, a yoga practice, connecting to your body, service, commitment, opening yourself up to an ocean of endless possibilities for creating a magical life, is by doing these more small, fine-tuned parts of life. So, yes, happy Pisces season to you. Happy Virgo full moon. One of the major themes for Pisces season this year is mystical Neptune. It has been in Pisces for quite some time, but this is important. Neptune is entering the third and final decan of Pisces, which is the third decan of any sign is the 20th degree to the 29th degree. And really, so it's not only the final decan of Pisces, it's the third and final decan of the entire astrological wheel. So this is major. So I'll repeat that again. Neptune is entering the third and final decan of Pisces, but also the final decan of the astrological wheel. And so Neptune entered Pisces, I think it was like 2011, around that time period. So think back to that time. How was there a shift for you into Pisces, Neptune and Pisces? I know for me in my own life, that is right when I started practicing yoga and I had a big spiritual awakening that led me to New York City. And yeah, so I think back to Neptune and Pisces as that spiritual journey for me when it all started. And I've talked to many of you in the community who also experienced something like that when Neptune entered Pisces. So Neptune is the mystic, the spiritual one, the poetic one. Neptune is, it can be confusion, delusion, but also how do you communicate without using words? This is Neptune. So it's like interpretive dance or playing the saxophone or, being in the presence of divine love. Neptune, universal compassion. And so Neptune is at home in Pisces, right? This is one of Pisces' ruling planets. It's the modern ruler for Pisces. And so it has been a very Piscean time, even though we have Pluto in Capricorn, which is also another generational planet, which is deep transformation and rebirth, death and rebirth to government, patriarchy, businesses, environment, Pluto and Capricorn. We also have Neptune and Pisces that is part of this generational energy for us to consider. And this is a time of spirituality, spiritual awakening. But also the shadow of that is like conspiracy theories, confusion, fear, alcoholism. So, yes, we're shifting into the third and final decan. This Pisces season, which already happened on February 22nd, Neptune entered this final decan of Pisces for good. We got a taste of it last year. Neptune entered the final decan of Pisces last year on April 23rd of 2020. and stayed there in August. So this past summer, we got a taste of the third decan of Pisces, but then stationed retrograde, traveled back to the 18th degree of Pisces. And then again, a few days ago on February 22nd, Neptune entered and stays in this final decan of Pisces for good and won't leave dreamy Pisces until it heads into Aries, the sign of new beginnings, in 2025. So the next, what is that? Like 4 years of Neptune in Pisces. So this is a massive end of a cycle. And so we'll talk more about this on the Pisces new moon for sure. But it is an important one for us to consider of all Pisces season. And so look to your chart at the 20th degree of Pisces and see, who Neptune's hanging out with right now. Some of the darker aspects of Neptune and Pisces, again, this is shadow of spirituality. It's moving through spiraling fear, conspiracy theories, confusion, illusion, delusion, wanting to leave the planet, suicide, addiction, depression. And so all these things are present with us throughout the entire year because we have Neptune in Pisces. But we shine a light more consciously to it during Pisces season. The invitation for evolution, though, we explore the shadow. What's the evolving part of this? Meditation, Neptune and Pisces. It's having a connection to God or to spirit. It's processing your grief and your emotion through devotional song, and not only your own emotion, but it's the collective emotion, right? It's Pisces. So prayer. Do not underestimate the power of prayer and chant. Forgiveness, surrender to the unknown, release. Neptune in the tarot is the hanged one or the hanged man, and Pisces is the moon card. So you could put those two cards out as well with the Virgo ones to just kind of get the backdrop of what we're feeling into. And so, so that's the backdrop of Pisces season. But this Virgo full moon, we can look at these tarot cards to offer us some deeper insight into how to navigate this full moon. We won't look at all of them, but the one that's really calling out to me is the Hermit, which is, Virgo's soul growth card. So it's an important one for us. And I'm using the Fifth Spirit Tarot here, and I love the Hermit in this deck. It shows someone who is out in the wilderness, in the woods, and there's snow, and it looks like they're on a spiritual journey. It looks like a rite of passage. It's, the Hermit is an older figure. It represents old age. And they have a backpack and a thermos, and they're sitting and meditating and have their hands open, and a lantern is floating above their hands, but it's not an actual physical lantern. It is the outline of a lantern, and so it's like the light that comes from within. This is part of the Hermit energy, and the Hermit it's teaching Virgo, soul growth for Virgo. It's teaching Virgo to let go of the need to be perfect, to let go of the need to micromanage the universe. This is something that could be coming up for us on the Virgo full moon is so much Piscean energy. We don't know what's going on. We feel the end of this cycle. We're floating. And so Virgo comes in, and on the Virgo full moon, we might say, okay, I'm turbo drive. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to organize everything. This is not necessarily the soul invitation of Virgo. These are things that Virgo's great at, conceptualizing systems for the improvement of one's craft. But the soul evolution of Virgo is much deeper than this. And the Hermit offers us some insight into what that might be. The Hermit withdraws from the outer world, the material world, for the purpose of activating the unconscious mind. I call Virgo the unconscious earth sign. Taurus, conscious earth. Virgo, unconscious earth. Or subconscious. And then Capricorn, superconscious earth. So it is really this energy that removes oneself from societal expectations. This is the Hermit. removes oneself from society, but never from humanity. And it's only really by withdrawing from the outer world that we begin to awaken the inner self. And this speaks to the importance of devotion for the Virgo. This speaks to the importance of humility for Virgo. It's a very humble sign and is here in some way to reconnect us to the health of our body. You know, Virgo in a lower form is using one's mental capacity, right? It's the sign ruled by Mercury. It's interesting, an earth sign ruled by Mercury, communication, to use one's intellect to separate the body from the mind, from the spirit. Virgo separates. But the soul invitation is about finding a union between body, mind, and spirit. So, you know, around the Virgo full moon, this could be a time where you get sick. It's about health. If you're not connecting your body with your mind, with your spirit, right? This is part of the lesson here. And so really slowing down the Hermit to listen to the wisdom of your body. When we're sick, when something physical comes up in our body, it is often a symptom of something going on in our mind and with spirit. It doesn't always have to be, but they are connected. And so whatever is going on with your body right now, what is your spirit communicating to you? Are you using your mind to micromanage what's going on? You know, it's like overworking oneself. Virgo's connected to work to the point that you're then exhausted or sick. So just be mindful of these, you know, lower tendencies of Virgo, and the Hermit will offer us some deeper insight into how to navigate that. And so it's my hopes for you that on this Virgo full moon, you really do drop in, tune into the digestion, pay attention to the earth in a deeper way. And this is all activating and awakening the healer that lives within. You know, Virgo is this sign of the great healer, often because they've gone on that journey themselves of healing, and so then they can teach it to other people. So we have the Zodiac Queens to look to, right? This is something that we do on the show. In 2018 and 2019, we worked on a project in the collective here at Cosmic Cousins called the Zodiac Queens. And we chose and crowned a queen for each astrological sign that offers us a embodiment in human form of these archetypes. And so Queen of Pisces is Nina Simone. So right now we have Sun and Nina Simone.
I wish I never lived this long. I hope this feeling never comes again.
And Full Moon in Beyonce.
There is a curse that will be broken. 1,000 girls raise their arms. Now that reconciliation is possible. If we're gonna heal, let it be glorious.
If we're gonna heal, then let it be glorious. Queen of Virgo, Beyonce Knowles, offers us this beautiful representation of the Virgo archetype, which is honoring of the earth element, honoring of the goddess through one's craft, through one's humble devotion to, you know, the detail, to the work that you put in, to connecting to one's body, but how your body is a vessel for spirit. And, you know, Full Moon and Beyonce to you. Happy Full Moon and Beyonce to you. It's reminding me when this clip that I chose to play for you, 1,000 girls raise their arms and the curse is broken and now the reconciliation is possible. You know, Virgo is the virgin archetype. And in this performance, this was a live performance at the 2017 Grammys. It's it's not, I don't think it's 1,000 girls or women, but there's a lot, and they're all wearing white and raising their arms up. This is Virgo, and Beyonce's pregnant wearing gold, wheat, and the archetype of Virgo is often shown a woman pregnant harvesting wheat. I mean, Beyonce knows that she's a Virgo, and she talks about it, and she really works with that archetype in that Virgo way of, it's very intellectual, it's very conceptual, and it offers us a visual representation of the divine. This is Virgo, and so having things around you on this Virgo full moon that connect you to spirit, but particularly the goddess, it's like Mother Mary energy. This is Virgo. Virgo is the mother. It's the great mother. Cancer is the mother too. These are the two signs that are connected to the mother. But the phrase for Virgo, the esoteric phrase for Virgo is, I am the mother and the child. So place your hands on your belly, on your digestive system, maybe another hand on the heart. Say this to yourself, I am the mother and the child. And just breathe into that. It's interesting because I'm adopting this new puppy. He's 6-month-old BG. Virgo is often connected to pets. Cancer, Leo, Virgo, this quadrant of the wheel I associate with pets. Leo, I really connect to animals. But Virgo is the devotion of taking care of your pet, the daily task of feeding an animal and the structure that it creates in your life. So it's really cool for me it just lined up this way. And I had said that this Mercury retrograde had been really a powerful one for me. The day that Mercury stationed retrograde, this was back in January, was the day that I received a message about BG, the new dog in my life. And, I had reached out during eclipse season back in December, and the dog was going to go to someone else, but it was that first day of the retrograde that I received that message. And so think back to the end of January when Mercury stationed retrograde. Mercury is the ruling planet for Virgo. And then it was on the Mercury Cazimi, when everything was solidified, this was going to be my dog, and I was going to drive to pick him up in Colorado. Cazimi, Mercury Cazimi, this is when Mercury lines up with the sun in the sky. Cazimi is a Sanskrit word, or not a Sanskrit word, it's an old astrological term that it's not just when Mercury lines up with the sun, it's when any planet lines up with the sun. Our luminary, when the moon lines up with the sun, it's a new moon, but that's also technically Cazimi, and it translates, it means in the heart. And so when Mercury lined up with the sun, that's when it solidified for me. And then Mercury stationed direct earlier this week, and that is when I headed out to come out to Colorado. So I had those 3 points were really clear for me this time around, and I'm kind of attributing that to me being an Aquarius. But pay attention. Now Mercury is direct, things are flowing forward, and actually this is a very rare moment in time, but no planets are retrograde at this moment. Everything is moving forward. We are flowing into the spring at this point, but we are still at the end of this Piscean cycle. And so I'm looking forward to connecting back in 2 weeks on the Pisces new moon. Things are culminating at this moment on the full moon. Things are feeling extra and amplified. And then on the Pisces new moon in 2 weeks, we will get to release. And so over the next 2 weeks after this burst of energy, I meet the dog, and then I drive back to the West Coast, and things settle back into place, and then we start the cycle over again. So yeah, Virgo as connected to pets, it's taking care of something you love, which is yourself. Virgo reminds us to take care of ourselves. I am the mother and the child. And then the phrase continues on, I God, like I am God, I am something higher. I matter. I am my body. I am earth, right? Spirit and earth, building a bridge between body, mind, spirit. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. I'm wishing for you a deeply healing, nurturing, mothering Virgo full moon. And take sweet care of yourself. And I'll see you next time. Okay? So take sweet care, cousins. And remember, deep breaths.